This one tastes more like traditional bourbon, like middle. Welcome back to Foolproof Hunter. I'm Joe, and today I'm blinding the Jack Daniel's Bonded series. Let's get into it. So recently a subscriber reached out with a bunch of different ideas, and I thought someone would really jam up. So first up, we're going to be doing the Jack Daniel's Bonded series. So let's look at each one of these and see what makes them different. So Jack Daniel's Bonded Tennessee Whiskey. This is their standard mash bill from what I understand. Coming in at bottle and bond, 100 proof of course, so at least 4 years old. If you're wondering where this ranks within Jack Daniel's lineup, you've got Jack Daniel's Old No. 7, Gentleman Jack, and then this. So Jack Daniel's Old No. 7, 80 proof, solid mixer. Gentleman Jack, 90 proof, same mash bill, maybe a hair older, but pretty much 90 proof. I think the Gentleman Jack is ran through the charcoal filter process twice for a double mellowing process. I don't know if there's anything else different about that versus the Old No. 7. Then you have the Jack Daniel's Bonded, which is just their standard mash bill at 4+ years old at 100 proof. So both this and the Gentleman Jack are roughly the same price point. Of course, this being a 700 ml bottle, Gentleman Jack's a 750 ml bottle. This is 100 proof, Gentleman Jack is 90 proof, double filtered, or ran through the Lincoln County process twice, the sugar maple oak. So I have had this bottle a while. I do enjoy this from time to time. I think this is a solid mixer and a great sipper on its own for around that 100 proof. Great for mixing cocktails because that 100 proof cuts through the cocktails so you still get those whiskey flavors if that's what you're looking for. So on to the rye. So this is Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye, Tennessee Rye Whiskey, bottle and bond, 100 proof. I like Jack Daniel's ryes, especially their barrel proof ryes, their single barrel proof ryes. One of my favorite bottles of all time is their 2023 twice barreled rye. And I've got an idea in the future to take Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye and essentially double oak it and see if I can get it close to that 2023 twice barrel rye. Don't know if I can, but I think this is a good place to start. And up last, arguably the most interesting of the series here, is their triple mash. So what this is a blend of their American malt, the rye, and the Tennessee whiskey. It is bottle and bond, 100 proof as well, as all of these are bottle and bond, 100 proof. I'm not exactly sure what the percentage breakout is. These have been out on the market a very long time. And actually, when the Bonded came out, it actually won Bourbon of the Year that year. And it actually landed as gold on Fred Minnick's Ascot Awards as well. So there's that. Don't know if that helps you or not. Anyways, so you haven't heard a whole lot about this since then. But, you know, has it faded to obscurity or does it still hold up? So in my opinion, if you're not wanting the Old No. 7 or the Gentleman Jack, and you're looking to step up your Jack Daniel's game, but you don't want to dive into the single barrel proofs because of the high proof, this is a great place to start or to go to because it's the best of both worlds. You get a little more proof from the lower end stuff, good age statement, bottle and bond, 4 years plus, and if you don't like that proof that comes with the barrel proof versions, this is a great place to go. So we're going to blind these real quick, see which one I like more than the others, if that is possible. And I'll give some quick tasting notes on this. I'm not even going to write down scores or anything like that. We're just going to rapid fire through these, see if I can pick up on any differences in between them and see which one I like more. And with that being said, let's get them poured up. Let's get this blind started. Poof. And that's the power of video. Or the magic of editing, whatever. Anyways, so like always, I have these marked with a little sticker on the bottom correlating to a legend that we will reveal the winner and the loser, or most favorite to least favorite, however you want to look at this, glass half full, glass half empty, whatever. So with all that being said, let's get into this. That is a nice nose. That is sweet. There's some sweet oak there. That's really nice on the nose. There's like a tobacco or leather kind of hanging out at the back end. Cola note there. You know, Jack Daniels and Brown-Forman are famous for their banana notes. I'm not picking up on a ton of banana here. I mean, because I know I'm drinking Jack Daniels, I feel like there's a little bit of a banana note there, but it's really sweet, kind of like a, I don't want to say Banana Foster's or something like that, but I do feel like there's a little bit of an underlying banana note. Subtle spice there. On to the next one. The nose. We're gonna do nose first and then taste. This one's more subdued, like flatter. There's some notes there, but they're flatter. They're not quite as rich as the first one. Coming out a little bit more now. Yeah, not quite as sweet, not kind of confectionery, not kind of a sweet oakiness that I was getting on that. Those leather notes or tobacco notes I was talking about aren't necessarily on this one. But all in all, that's pretty solid. There's some notes in there, but nothing overwhelming. So far, glass one, my favorite. Ooh, this is different. That is, I wonder if that is the sweet mash. I mean, triple mash, because it feels like it's a couple different things. It feels like there's cola, a slight rye spiciness to it, or baking spice. And then there's almost there's like a little funkiness there, almost like a malt funkiness. All right, so far I like that one more than glass two. I still think my favorite though on the nose is glass one. That's more of your typical bourbony, whiskey notes with some depth and a little bit of, it feels like it's got some heart to it, right? This one's good as well, just different. It's like several different things, but I do like it. This one is definitely kind of has some good notes there, but a little flatter. All right, so on the palate. Oh yeah, that's got to be the rye. If I had to take a wild guess, I would think that's the rye. If it is, there's not like a super herbally notes to it. It's not minty, it's not piney, it's not dilly or anything like that. I'm just picking up on what I would consider bourbon-esque rye notes. Yeah, there's like there's a faint carameliness or a butterscotch trying to push through on the finish. The mouthfeel on that is actually quite pleasant, fairly oily. Like my mouth is kind of wanting to salivate there a little bit, which tells me this is fairly viscous. That's really nice. There's like a tea note there or a cola note hanging around there. Makes me think this is the rye. Of course, there's some spice there, some baking spices, things like that. I mean, there's oakiness to it. There's nothing there that's like heavy hitting. It ain't like drinking a barrel proof, a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, but there's some nice notes there. I would say that's fairly balanced once you get past the initial wave on the front of the palate. The front of the palate hits you fairly quickly, fairly abruptly, and then starts to linger off, and then it just kind of cascades and just lingers on, right? Linger. So yeah, I think that's really nice. That's good. On to number two. Way more character on the palate. The nose is that is really nice. That's got to be the bourbon or the Tennessee whiskey, whatever you want to call it, because it's just quintessential caramels, brown sugars, vanillas, oak, sweet oak. There's a banana note there, kind of like a nutty banana bread. Like I think that's the bourbon, if I had to take a wild guess. And I wouldn't be surprised if I am completely off here, because now I have had, full disclosure, I have had this, the bonded bourbon or Tennessee whiskey for a pretty good while. And I haven't bought these until just recently, until I decided to do this video. So this is kind of the first time I'm having these two. I would say if I had to choose between the two, so far this one's edging that out. Again, this is more quintessential bourbon. This feels like the rye. I think this is the triple mash. That is unique. Probably the least proofy of the three. I would say This one probably, I mean, they're all 100 proof, but this one probably drinks closest to the proof. This one just a hair under. If you were to ask me, I would say this drinks every bit of 100 proof. This drinks in the mid 90s to 100. This drinks below, like, when I say mid 90s, 95 to 100. This drinks just below that, like, 90 to 95, 96. Very unique. Definitely this has to be the triple mash because I feel it's pulling you in several different directions. And as the palate evolves, it changes. Like first you get a wave of almost quintessential type bourbon notes, brown sugars, vanillas, but it immediately goes right into kind of a rye-ish aspects with some baking spice there on the mid palate. There's some sweet oakiness there, brown sugar, and then it evolves into what I can only describe as a very subtle malty notes. Cola, teas, all three of these are really good. I didn't go over price points. All of these range between that $35 to $40 mark in my area. Again, for under sub $40 whiskey, it's available pretty much on every shelf across the country. These are really solid. I think you should pick all three of these up and try them. Depending on if you like ryes, definitely get a rye. If you like unique stuff, get the triple mash. Again, I'm just assuming that that's what I'm tasting, but we'll know here in just a minute. This is where it gets difficult because they're all three different. They all three have their strengths and their weaknesses. This one's just unique. You kind of have to want something different than your ryes or your bourbons. This one tastes more like traditional bourbon, like middle. Well, that sucks. Mid-sentence, my internet went down, which means all my lights are powered by the internet. And I'm waiting for it to come up, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish this video because I don't wanna have to get reset back up to shoot it. So I hope the lighting looks fine. Anyways, I forget what I was even saying, but yeah, if you're looking for more traditional bourbon notes, then this is your drink. If you're looking for a little more, again, I don't know if that's what these are or not, just based on what I'm tasting. So with that being said, I mean, I think for me, this is the clear winner. If I had to pick one of the three to only have just one, I can only have one of them. I would want this one here. Between these two, I feel like I'm gonna lean a little more towards, but at the same time, I also would want this bottle on my shelf to have people to try it. This is my favorite, middle, and least favorite. Saying that I like all three is what I'm trying to say. And I'm glad I have all three on my shelf. The question is, would I buy these three again? And I think the answer to that is, if I drink through these, yes, I will purchase another bottle of these to have these three on my shelf, because I think for the price point, the proof point, and the quality that's here, I think all three are worth their price. So that's where I'm gonna leave it. So I'm gonna stick to this. I'm gonna stick to this ranking. Let's do the reveal. So glass A. I don't know what happened here, but for all those who think that bourbon tubers are fakers and that we plan everything out and we cheat, just know that this glass, which I thought was the triple mash, is the bonded. I mean, unless I poured these up wrong. All right, well, if I did, so be it. But that's how I wrote it down, and I'm gonna stick to it. So what I thought was the triple mash is actually the bonded. Maybe I should have kept my mouth shut about guesses and just gave flavor notes. That's strange that this one had so much so many different characteristics, pulling it in different ways. It really makes me wonder if I poured these up wrong. But it is what it is. Maybe I'll do this again in the future sometime, maybe on a live stream or something. You guys let me know if you want to see that, because this is kind of blowing my mind. Anyways, on to the second one, which is B. I got all three wrong. The rye, which means my favorite was the triple mash. Wow. Just wow. Like I'm completely flabbergasted. Completely shocked. Yeah, that smells like it. Well, it's a good thing I do this for entertainment and I'm not a professional at this, because that would be very embarrassing. But for me, it's just another day. So comment down below if you found this entertaining. Comment down below if you've had any of these. This is actually a really cool experiment. If you have all three of these, try blinding them side by side and let me know your results, because this was actually very shocking to me. I thought going into this that the rye would be my absolute favorite. I'd be able to pick up on this triple mash amalgamation that's here, and that is not the case. That's very interesting. I'm still shocked. I'm still reeling from the shock of getting everything wrong. So, oh well, there it is. So what are you gonna do? Anyways, don't forget to hit that like button if you found this entertaining. Smash that subscribe button if you want more whiskey content like this in the future. I'm here to entertain. That is my only purpose here. I'm not here trying to be some high-end whiskey tuber. I really just want to review things and give my opinion on it, and take that as you will. Hopefully it aligns with some of you out there. Hopefully this blind helps some of you if you're interested in wanting to pick up one of these three. If you can try these, try to find a liquor store that has these for samples. Most liquor stores that'll have a good sample selection will probably have these out. You can at least try maybe one of them. I know there's at least one or two stores in my area that has one or two or all three of these out for sampling. Always definitely try that when you can. But again, hope this helps someone out there try to make their decision, or if you just found this entertaining, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. On my way to 1,000 subscribers. And with that being said, till the next video, cheers, y'all. Well, that's just depressing.